Hello and welcome back to another episode of Come Over for Dinner. I'm Bess Hawthorne, and today I'm joined by a very, very special guest. I'm so excited you've joined me today. I'm going to introduce her, but I'm going to let her also introduce herself because there's just so many amazing things that I know I'll miss. Her name is Araz Torosyan, and she and her husband, Masis, have been married for 11 years. They have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, ranging from ages 7 down to 2. They met in LA in a big Armenian community there. They currently live in Seattle. They've moved around a lot because her husband is in the Navy. She has lots of fun stories to share with us, and I cannot wait to hear them. Welcome, Araz.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Definitely tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah. So like you said, I'm a first-generation Armenian American, and I grew up my entire life in LA and didn't leave until I got married. And then from then on, we have been hopping around every couple of years. And both my husband and I love the Lord. So just out of obedience and just it being on our hearts, we wanted to be hospitable and like have people over in whatever capacity we were able to based off of how many kids we had or where we were living. So it's definitely been a range of experiences.
So fun. So you have that rich heritage. I'm sure that plays into your cooking, which we may hear about. Who was it in your family that immigrated to America?
Yeah, both of my parents are Armenian, but they immigrated from Lebanon. And so even my dishes versus my husband, his dad is Armenian and he immigrated from Turkey. So we have differences in just the dishes we grew up with. And even if it's the same dish, there'll be like little things that'll be off. And even pronunciations, because I'll have Arabic words or French words that will be thrown in there, and he'll have Turkish words that'll be thrown in there. So it's funny when it's time to make something, and I'm like, this is how I make this. And he's like, this is the one I grew up with. But
that reminds me of the vastness of America, like, say, a barbecue sauce. You know, even though it's all America, it's very different depending on the area that you are. So the barbecue sauce in the South is different than the barbecue sauce in the Carolinas or cornbread. When I moved up here and had this giant slice of delicious cornbread, it was like dessert. I'm like, what am I eating? Because they put so much sugar in it. In the South, typically, there's a tablespoon or 2 of sugar.
I did not know that.
It's just different. Yeah. Isn't that funny, though? And you're like, this isn't cornbread.
Put so much sugar in our cornbread.
Like half a cup. So
my kids love it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. Of course, kids like your cornbread better.
It's Aunt Leslie's cornbread.
Oh, I bet it's delicious. And the thing is people from the North eating my cornbread would probably want to throw it in the trash. It's like, this isn't cornbread. It's not sweet at all.
I feel that way about some of our dishes. I'm like, you put way too much the cracked wheat bulgur in the tabbouleh. I was like, what do you mean?
How
this
can
is
you do that?
Not a salad anymore. It needs just parsley.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, back to cornbread, not that we can claim pure health because usually I slather it with butter and honey. So I kind of make up for the lack of sugar there. But okay, I do digress. Tell me a little bit about your moves. So you said you've moved every couple of years. You've been married about 11 years. So how many moves is that?
I honestly have not counted. I should have before I came. We've had maybe 4 major moves. And then he's just had a lot of little schools in between that ranged from 1, 2, or like 8 months. So lots of little ones and then a few major ones that we were able to stay for 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what does he do in the Navy?
He is currently the docking officer we're living in the Bremerton area, but he's overall a engineering duty officer and a dive officer. So lots of ship fixing, ship repair, diving repair, and honestly, it's whatever the need is, they'll throw him in sometimes because he's just great at doing it. He's like, got it, I'll take care of it.
Okay, so a quick daisy chain relative, is that what they call it? Daisy chain relative announcement. My daughter-in-law, Belle, is cousins with your husband. Is that right?
Yes.
Because his mom is Heather Torosyan, and she is Doug Wilson's sister.
Yes.
And what else? How else would we say that? So y'all are cousin-in-laws.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go with that. And I love Belle. She's great.
She's so sweet.
So when we first got married, we were living at Point Loma Inn and Suites for almost 2 months. And growing up, my mother, delicious meals she would make, and we would host tons of people all the time in big groups because everything can be a party for Armenians. And I was
like, it's always a big party.
It is. It's
amazing.
So fun. It's like the baby gets their first tooth and you throw a party. It is a thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
really
great.
Cute. But even though she wanted to teach me things, I was stubborn and I said no. So when I got married, I was starting with salads and rice and that, like mac and cheese. That's where I was.
Even though your family could do all this amazing
all the things,
food.
like the most delicious foods. And it was so sad. But I was like, I should learn to cook for my husband now. And in this cute little inn, I was like, I'm going to make a delicious steak. And I got, I don't even know what kind of meat, cut of meat, and some wine. And we now call it the infamous purple steak because it was the toughest, most tasteless, brightest purple steak I have ever seen in my life. It was horrendous. We threw it away and ordered pizza, but my husband was super gracious and we honestly just laughed about it. And he's been there through my learning experience, including the thick pancakes, thick crepes, because I thought I knew how to make pancakes. And I was like, it's okay, I'll make up for it. I'll make pancakes the next morning. And I didn't actually know how to make pancakes from scratch. I knew how to make crepes from scratch, and I just didn't thin it out. And again, he ate it so lovingly. And eventually I was like, this is terrible. I did it again. So we've
all within a 24-hour period.
It was just great. So we've come a long way, thankfully. But yeah, those are probably like, this is just so you have hope. If you also did not learn to cook and you got married and you're like, where do I start? Don't worry. You'll have some fun stories and you'll get there. You'll get there.
Did you end up calling your mom and grandma and relatives and try to get recipes, or how did you start?
I did not. I just went to my love of pasta and I was like, you know what? You can't mess up pasta. You just got to like make a yummy sauce and boil the pasta. Sure, you can add a protein, but you don't have to. Mm-hmm. But that's also a fun story. The first guests we had over, we have a lot of overnight guests because we move and friends visit us, and we typically live in beautiful places. So we were in San Diego for 3 months, and my husband's the best man and one of the groomsmen from the wedding came and stayed with us. And at that point, they were our first guests, and I never asked about dietary restrictions. So I made the best pasta I knew how to make, which was a like heavy cream, like an Alfredo pesto-y pasta that was delicious. And it turns out one of the guys was lactose intolerant.
Oh, no.
And he just lovingly ate the pasta and had ice cream afterwards, too. And he was just so gracious and so kind. And I learned my lesson. And we actually just had him over like this past month. And I was like, I bought lactose-free milk, guys. Like look how far we've come.
After you eat my food.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's pretty great. Well, that's often the case when you first get married. Even if you have cooked some, it's not quite what you expect when you have the entire task for yourself. Because a lot of times, even if you have learned some at home, you are sharing the task with mom or sisters. Or I know I grew up with 3 other sisters. And when I first got married, I remember thinking, nobody's doing anything while I'm in here doing, like for instance, at home, if I was helping with dinner, somebody else is doing the dishes and somebody else is cleaning the bathroom and somebody else did the vacuuming. And when you're first married, you have to figure out how to manage all of it by yourself.
That's so true.
Which is a skill set in itself.
100%.
Besides figuring out the timing and the planning and a complete meal and a variety of cooking, because maybe you don't want to eat the same pasta every single night of the week.
We had so much pasta those first few months.
How did your steak turn purple, by the way? Were you marinating it?
I think I literally just put it in a pot of wine on the stove.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was so sad.
Yeah, I feel like the wine is going to elevate it. It's going to make it taste so delicious. No. No. That's a pretty great story.
But to go to about the dive side, that was one of our high points in our hospitality, I would say. So we got to go to Panama City Beach, and he was going to go to dive school. But he was like one of the older guys because most of his classmates were fresh out of the academy, and they were going to be more in like spec ops. And so he was coming from a ship, and he kind of like switched over. And here we are, him and a few older guys along with him on the engineering side, and like 20 maybe of these like super fit, lots of calorie 21-year-olds, and one exchange, I don't want to say exchange student, but from the Italian Navy. So it was a really fun group, and the Lord just put it on our hearts when Becca Merkel came out with her Soup Night book, and I got it. And I was like, this is so clear cut.
This is it.
It is, guys. It was so well laid out, which is perfect for, I typically want everything just spelled out for me. I am not the best with being creative. I'm still working on that. So I was like, this is it. It's laid out. There's no excuse.
And there's a variety of recipes. You can switch it up every week.
Exactly. And so I was like, when I went to Matsi, so I was like, I think we should do this for your class. And so we were in our little, I don't know, I think it was like a 1,200 square foot apartment. We had 2 kids at that point. And I was like, I think I can manage every other week. Like, let's be realistic.
That's a good goal. Right. Every week would be a lot to start with.
It was like too much. And it became such a huge like bonding experience for everyone.
I can imagine.
And I even like years later, even now sometimes, I forget how much of an impact it had for them to have a home cooked meal when they like were in school and then they just left and now they're here, and like this brought them together and they got to bond together and have a
home cooked meal.
Good meal. Yeah. And it's just it meant a lot to me when I realized how much it meant to them.
Sure.
Because at the time I was just like, all right, here we go. Let's figure it out. Hi, welcome.
I
like,
know.
I hope it's good.
A lot of times when you're in the middle of just the hard work, you're thinking about the planning and the executing and getting the groceries and cleaning up and all that. You aren't really thinking about the impact of what you're doing, that the impact of all of that hard work in the end is going to be a sweet fellowship around the table.
Exactly.
And building relationships and building friendships. And it really is so meaningful to those people, like you're saying, especially people away from home and they're not having somebody they can go and eat Sunday dinner with every week. They're away from their families. How many people were in that group?
I think we ended up around 30 people. Yeah.
That's a lot of food because you're feeding a lot of hungry young men.
I would make her full recipe. Yeah, there were maybe like 4 girls, and then the rest were guys. And I would make her full recipe, which I think is supposed to feed 50. Okay. And it would all get
I was going to say, yeah, when you're cooking for 20-year-old men or young ladies, especially if they're doing a lot of training, because if you ever work out, you just have a pretty good appetite afterward. You're like, I'm starving.
Yeah, exactly.
You go eat dinner, you're going to eat a little bit more than you normally would. So, yeah, with people like that, you definitely have to imagine that maybe they'll have 2 bowls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
How long did you do that for? I mean, you said you were there just a few months.
Yeah, I think it was about 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at the end, did they have something for you?
Yeah, it was super sweet. So each place that we have lived, Matsis has routed a board with the location and then either like a fun phrase. Like from Hawaii, I had it above a garden and it was routed aloha. Yep, I loved it. It was just for me he did that. But yeah, so with each location we had a board. And so for Panama City, they decided to gift us a wooden spoon. It's a decorative one, a giant wooden spoon that they burned into about soup night. And it's up there on our wall everywhere we move.
That's such a fun memory.
It was so sweet, yeah.
Oh, that's such a fun memory to have from your time there, and also to remind you that your work was not in vain. Do you currently do anything like that in the Seattle area?
No. Our current hospitality is typically... Honestly, I do a lot of play dates and
for young children.
So we'll do lots of play dates in our home a lot of the time because it's typically been cloudy and rainy. But in the summer, it's other. And then just hosting family and friends who visit. We've had a few dinners with a couple families as well. But most of the time it's having moms and their kiddos over or visitors who are staying the night.
Oh, that's so fun. Tell me a little bit about your play dates that you have. Since you said that's your current form of hospitality with having 4 young children, I can imagine that really is kind of the biggest thing that you do right now is having young moms over. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So whenever we move, we pray ahead of time for a church. and friends, honestly. And the Lord has always graciously provided. I have also gotten used to just being very bold and blunt. And I will, in a lighthearted, joking way, I will end up being like, you love Jesus, like you gotta fellowship with me. Like it's just there.
The Bible says.
But I like intertwine it in a funnier way where they will end up laughing, and then it'll be like, okay, yeah, let's be friends. So I will just invite any mom I see at our new church. I was like, hey, let's pick a date next month, and I'm just gonna do an open house play date, and just let me know if you have allergies. And I had a random variety of snacks, and I bit off a little more than I can chew. And I learned when we did it again, each mom like brought something, because it ended up being more people than I thought, which was great. And it was lovely. And it was awesome. But yeah, the next time I was like, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. Like, hey, what can you bring?
Especially if you don't know your numbers and you feel like, oh, I have enough food. And then it's like so many people come that you don't have enough food. That's a great thing to have everybody bring snacks and drinks.
And like if their kids are going through a phase where they have certain things they like and don't like.
Or allergies. If they have a certain intolerance, then they're going to have snacks at their own home that they can bring that their kids can eat.
Exactly.
That you might not have.
But my favorite recipe at the moment, go-to recipe, is sheet pan pumpkin pancakes. Because they're fun, they're yummy, they do have sugar in them. But I check typically with the moms beforehand if I'm like, is it okay that we have a sweet thing? And they're delicious. So you don't have to like deal with sticky maple syrup. They can grab and walk around and eat it, because some kids have not learned to, when they're like really little, they haven't learned to like sit and eat. So like we'll try to have like a picnic table and whatnot. But I'm like, okay, they're walking around with it. It's not like crazy messy. It's going to be okay. So yeah, sheet pan pumpkin pancakes. You can make some big batches, and then I freeze them. And we also like rotate them into like our school breakfasts.
That is a hot tip, because like you said, no syrup, no forks.
Make it ahead of time.
Make ahead of time.
Or chocolate chip waffles. That's from my husband's family. Every Sunday we have chocolate chip waffles, and my 7-year-old daughter has been the one to make the batter on Saturdays. If I can make it ahead of time, why not? So she makes the batter on Saturdays, and because it's got these chocolate chips, we've used mini chocolate chips, regular, and even the giant like dark chocolate ones, which are our favorites right now. And it's like, yes, it's like almost dessert for breakfast when we use the giant chocolate chips, but we're also like,
Sunday
it's
morning.
The Lord's day. Let's praise him. It's extra sweet today. But yeah, your daughter-in-law gave me the tip of like cutting him smaller and stacking him, and that would be really fun for kids. But yeah, those are also easy. Grab and go. We literally do not use plates on Sunday mornings, because I just use the cookie wire rack, and hot out of the waffle maker, we just pop them on there and take it to the table.
The wire rack actually is the hot tip, because it keeps the waffles from getting soggy, or pancakes necessary. Or anything like that.
Yes.
I have one that stacks. It's a 3-tier. I've had it since I got married.
Nice.
And I love it because it only takes up one cookie rack spot on the counter, because you're able to go up. You see that beautiful stack in pictures of pancakes, but it's soggy because they just steam each other. And so if you're going to not be eating them right away, honestly, the best way to do it is to do it on a wire rack so that they stay crisp, especially if you're storing them in freezer bags for later or just eating them later. They're not a soggy mess that's all stacked together.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip waffles. I love waffles, and I just made waffles for Batter when he came over to play. That's one of our things. I usually make pancakes or waffles or something fun. He would go crazy over chocolate chip waffles.
I think we made them when they were over.
Oh, that's amazing. That was probably the most welcoming thing you could have done for that little fella. Yes. He loves chocolate chips.
I'm like, I want to ask now, did we? I'm pretty sure we did. Maybe we didn't. I'm going to check.
Well, I'm sure whatever you made was delicious. They enjoyed their stay so much and did brag about how hospitable you were and how fun the trip was to see you. My daughter-in-law took her kids to go visit recently, and yeah, just really enjoyed her stay. So the chocolate chip pancakes I make all the time because my son loves chocolate chips and pancakes.
I've never made chocolate chip pancakes.
Really? I usually use mini chocolate chips
in
the pancakes. He likes them better than blueberry or plain.
Yeah.
But waffles, do you just do a typical waffle batter? And then just
throw it in?
Throw it in.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I have to get these recipes. If you have a favorite waffle,
I do.
For sure, I have to
We've tried a lot.
Okay, I need that because I like trying new recipes. I like mine. It's from the Southern Living.
Oh, I'll try yours too.
You should try mine and I'll try yours.
Okay.
The reason I like mine is because it's so easy, but it's so, so good.
Mm-hmm.
There's no whipping the egg whites.
No chance.
And then it's too much when
No.
you have kids and they're all starving and ready for a hot waffle.
Mm-mm.
Some you can do overnight or it's required kind of overnight rise. It's great if you do. I mean, I think with this recipe,
We
you
just
probably
send
could.
it. We just do it overnight.
No, I literally made mine. I was watching the young grandchildren and he was walking in the door in probably 5, maybe 10 minutes. And I just whipped up a batch really quick and you're done. I mean, there's no folding in of anything or letting it sit or overnight, Easterize or anything. So that's why I like these so much.
Nice.
And they're called Out of This World waffles. I mean,
They're
can
not
you compete with that? Maybe yours can. I'll try yours.
I'm not offended because it's just an online recipe. So
Okay.
I'm like, I will switch.
It's
okay.
not from your heritage.
Not at all.
Passed down from grandmother to grandmother.
No chance.
That's amazing. Well, what is a favorite menu you might serve if you're having people over? And it can be dinner, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. So my husband's number one requested meal when he's invited coworkers or people over is basically an Armenian beef stew. And it's easy because I can make part of it ahead of time. And like you can have the stew simmering. And when they arrive, you just put it together and it's ready and it's delicious and it's filling and it's like warm and hearty. So that is our go-to meal we call it nunigi chorba.
That is perfect for Seattle. I love a good stew.
Me too.
But I haven't had one with an Armenian twist.
Yeah.
So I need to make this recipe. I'm excited to try it.
Yay. Typically, anything with an Armenian twist would have garlic, lemon, and some form of tomato sauce added, which is what this
Okay.
has.
So that's kind of the base of what they cook.
Yeah.
Do you serve anything with this stew? What are your side dishes?
My number one side dish, which is also like a warm appetizer I have ready, like coming out the oven when guests come over, is called buregs. And the super easy version that I make, I actually learned from a friend because I make it the night before and I just store it in the fridge on the sheet pan. And it's literally puff pastry dough. And you cut them into the sheet into 9 squares. And you fill it with feta cheese that my mom taught me to mix with mozzarella and some black pepper and egg wash. Pop that in the oven, and it is so good.
Okay,
and
we
so
have to have the
yummy.
recipe for this as well.
Yeah, that was it. That is the recipe.
That's so
my
simple.
friend taught me, my friend Stella, when she visited us in San Diego. I was like, that was so easy. I'm just using that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. A little snack while you're waiting for everybody to
Yeah,
arrive.
and if they're like really hungry, it'll like help fill their tummies a bit.
And I can imagine kids don't turn their nose
they
up at
love
that.
it.
I bet
No.
they do love it.
But be prepared for the crumbs.
Oh, that's true.
And like just be okay with it. Just
Puff
accept
pastry.
it.
Yeah, would
it's
be
okay.
crumbly.
So crumbly.
Can
But so
vacuum
good.
later.
Exactly. I'm like, it's fine, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so the appetizer, the stew. What else?
Honestly, that's usually
So
all
one
I
dish
serve.
wonder.
Yeah, it is. And I don't like really serving a side thing with it because that usually ends up being filling, to be honest. And then, but there's always a dessert. So
Okay, tell me about dessert. Is this also Armenian?
it can be. There's a variety. Typically, I leave it open. I feel a absolute necessity to take something when I go over to someone's house. I cannot not. My ancestors would look down on me. It's just not.
I think that really
acceptable.
depends on the culture you come from
Yeah,
because
I think most
it's the
people
same
do that.
in the
They
South.
take things.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
It's just almost automatically, it's like, well, what can I bring? And you honestly are expecting to bring something. Like you're going to tell me dessert or salad or bread or something.
Yes.
And it's totally fine if people don't.
Yes.
Or don't ask.
Yeah.
But also I've realized here that it's fine for me to say either one. Like, it's fine. I've got it. I have it all planned. You just come.
Yes.
Or yeah, bring a dessert. Just depending on the circumstance, I kind of go back and forth. I don't feel bad saying, no, don't bring anything like I'm offending them. But in the South, a good Southern aunt or grandma would insist.
And I had to learn that a little bit because I'm used to just in our culture, you say no. So I'd be like, no, you don't have to bring anything. And then this repeats itself 4 times. And then you're like, okay, you can bring this. So I've definitely adjusted where now, especially after having more kids, I was like, I cannot do it all. It's fine. I was like, yes, please. Would you like to bring I'll leave it up to them, fruits or veggies or a dessert.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I just have them on hand if I see like it works. We always have like ready fruits, veggies cut up. So I'm like, okay, this seems like a good time. Let's bust it out. And they'll usually feel comfortable bringing a dessert. If not, I love making ashta, which is just literally a half and half. I don't want to say boiled. It's not. It's kind of like a custardiness, but like the key is that you add orange blossom water.
Oh, wow. That sounds delicious.
Yes.
Where do you
so
get
good.
orange blossom water?
My mom gets me all of the Armenian ingredients from the grocery store by their house.
Which she lives in LA still?
Yes, yeah. So she restocks my pantry basically.
That's wonderful.
And it's delicious. And there's a couple other meals to add it to, but I've found it just yummy to even add to like yummy drinks to make it feel special. And it smells so good.
Yeah.
And I've yet to try. There's an ashta ice cream. I've never made ice cream. But I just these past 2 days have been around people who have been making their own ice cream because it's summer. And I'm like, I might try this summer.
With orange blossom water? That would be so good.
That would be so good.
I bet we could order it online if we didn't have a ethnic grocery store nearby that would have those sorts of ingredients. I'm sure everything on Amazon these days.
Yeah, it's true. And it's becoming more and more popular. Like at our local Walmart, they have the yogurt that I grew up on that is karun, which literally means spring in Armenian. And I literally saw it and I was like, excuse me, my giant tub of yogurt for $5 is at Walmart. Thank you so much.
Kidding.
Yeah. And our Costco in LA will have the special, like it's our string cheese. And so I'm like, hummus is everywhere. Like all these like baklava everywhere. I was like, okay, it's just becoming more and more available.
Mm-hmm. Is there a big Armenian community in Seattle where you are? I think there is one in LA.
Oh, huge.
Huge one.
LA is massive. No. There's probably quite a bit in Seattle, but we are on the other side of the sound, and I have not met any. I've like heard of a family being there, and I was like, who are they? Where are they?
Someone just knew that the yogurt was good, so that's why it stopped.
It just appeared.
Right. It appeared. What brand is it?
It's, I think it's spelled with a K-A-R-O-U-N.
Okay.
Remember?
I've never seen it, but I'll keep an eye out for it.
It's yummy. It is good.
Yeah, I would imagine that y'all know how to do yogurt. Isn't that also a big staple?
Big staple. So good. Yeah. To marinate the chicken with it or just eat it with the like cucumbery, garlicky, salty goodness. And there's a drink. Ooh, that's so good where you just dilute the yogurt and basically add salt and if you want mint to it. Mm-hmm.
Is there any sweet to it?
No.
Really?
Zero sweet. It's a salty drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you dilute the yogurt?
You just add some water slowly, like little by little. Mm-hmm. I've made mistakes of like adding yogurt to things and
to try to get the right consistency.
Yeah.
I would imagine that is a very healthy drink because yogurt is supposed to be very healthy for you. I mean, before they add all the sugary stuff, but just plain yogurt or Greek yogurt. Is y'all's more like Greek yogurt, that thickness, or the regular yogurt?
Definitely. When I bought yogurt, like, I don't even remember the brand, just random brand, and it was so watery and super sour, and I was like, this is fine. This is fine, guys.
What I'm used to.
No.
So yours is more like the Greek yogurt where it's strained.
Correct. And then there's a special one where you strain the thick one and it gets super thick. And that was like my grilled cheese growing up, was like pita bread with the lebni inside, which I've known people have heard of lebni. And I was like, cool. So it's just like extra thick yogurt. And like you throw in spices, cucumbers, some salty olives, and that's your lunch. So I did not grow up with grilled cheeses. That was also a great story. My first grilled cheeses, definitely one of them. I put zero butter on and just popped it in the toaster. And it was terrible. Bad. I was like, why do people? That was when I first went to a non-Armenian school in high school. And then when I was married, I was like, Masis, do you put butter on the bread? Because I, at that point, was like, yeah, you put it in a pan. And I was like, is it on all the sides? And he was like, yeah. So I buttered every single surface of the bread. And it was so greasy.
Oh, my goodness.
I know how to make it now, guys. It's okay.
That's amazing. We'll be right back after a quick message from today's sponsors. Are you searching for hands-on activities to help your kids explore the practical side of science? Look no further than your kitchen. Inquisicook blends food science and culinary arts into an engaging program that puts delicious food on the family table. Let Inquisicook do the teaching with lesson videos, reliable recipes, and assessment tools that put students on track for success. Their online platform is easy to navigate and optimized for mobile, so the learning experience can move from the classroom to the kitchen without a hitch. Inquisicook turns curious students into intuitive cooks, not just recipe followers. Say goodbye to the tyranny of the ingredients list and say hello to utilizing what's in season, what's on sale, or what's in the fridge. Visit inquisicook.com to view sample lessons, then check out the recipe gallery to see just how crave-worthy science can be. Be a time traveler. Sail the seas with Odysseus, escape prison with Edmond Dantes, and defend the innocent with Ivanhoe. Join us at timetravelersLiterature.com. Enter a whole world of story where books uncover the riches of other books, where you discuss classic stories with other homeschool students, and where you are the time traveler, appreciating the work in its own literary tradition, its time in history, and its culture. Find out more and enroll in courses at timetravelersLiterature.com. So your family is very hospitable, I can imagine. Mm-hmm. That culture is very hospitable. Did you grow up Christian?
So. It was very, intertwined.
Okay.
So if it's yeah, I'm Armenian, so I'm a Christian. It's the first Christian. It was the first Christian nation, which is super cool. And
okay, so Armenia has become Christian?
Oh, yeah. It was the first Christian nation ever.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I forget. I want to say it was in 301 AD, but I might be completely off on the date. Sorry.
Did they say Christianity is their number one religion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forever and ever.
That is so neat.
Mm-hmm. But they're surrounded by all these,
right.
They're landlocked, surrounded by all these Muslim countries, which is a huge part of the diaspora that happened. Is there was the Armenian genocide where the Ottoman Empire basically drove us out, and that's why my family ended up in Lebanon. Mm-hmm. And my husband's family, I think it was his great-grandma, was hidden by a Turkish family. Yeah, and so that's how his family ended up in Turkey and survived. So
wow.
It's definitely a beautiful story that I tell my kids now of God's redemption and using the country that was trying to annihilate us to also save us. And here you are today, kids.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Wow. That's such an interesting story. So your family immigrated to America for what reason? What was their thought behind it? Or did they have one really? Just
I should ask my parents.
For the kids?
I think it was for a better life, because I know when we moved, they were very you do not have to work. You do not have to. We're you don't have to pull your weight in the home. We just want you to focus on school and get a good career, mm-hmm. and have a comfortable life.
Mm-hmm. I know for some families, well, if they weren't even in their own country, they went to Lebanon, then it's well, this isn't where we want to stay. So mm-hmm. they look around for somewhere that they want to raise kids.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just a side note, but I was just curious.
Oh, yeah. No, there was also, my parents, when they were in Lebanon, there was a civil war going on. So they hopped out and we're we're not raising our kids here. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. No, you don't want to keep your family somewhere where it's dangerous. Mm-hmm. We got to get somewhere safe.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So they moved to LA,
mm-hmm.
and then you met your husband there.
Yay.
And then we're now talking about history from there forward.
Yeah. And I'm
where it all
living
began.
in the Pac Northwest, which is crazy. Have you seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yes.
Okay,
it's very long time ago. I need to rewatch it because it was such a vivacious family.
Yes.
They're very fun.
And she ended up living next door to them. So it was a huge deal that I moved away. And I'm really grateful that my parents, I'm grateful that my husband honestly is just a good man. And my parents were yes, we trust you with our daughter. And they were able to let us go and let us grow mm-hmm. on our own, even though I didn't know how to cook. Thankfully, every single time she visits us, we remake our traditional Armenian foods because honestly, they're easy. They are simple, but they are very time consuming. Mm. And now that my older two kiddos are a bit older, they actually help. And that makes it really fun because we're doing this together and they're learning our traditions and we're making the food together. But yeah, every time my mom visits, I'm okay, let's make whatever, the manta or the sarma, or whatever it is. Again, the one that's time consuming, and I do not make it when you're not here. And like, let's really ingrain this.
Right. And it's really fun to have somebody with you if you're not making it a lot, not super familiar with the techniques, to be like, oh, no, do this. Oh, add a little more salt or add a little more of that.
There's
and
so many tricks that I didn't know.
Competent. Right.
100%. Like there's a traditional sweetbread we make at Easter time, and my family's is a little bit different than my husband's family's. So I still haven't gotten his family's right. I make it a little bit too dry. But like my mom taught me that there was a trick to one of the ingredients that's a hard like nugget of a spice, and you crush it with sugar. And I was like, I didn't know that.
Who knew?
No, all the recipes are like add eggs, add spice, eyeball it.
Right. You're like, that's not a recipe.
Yeah.
Help. Well, now you need some of his family to come and show you how to make his version.
I do. They taught me how to make his version of our favorite. It's like a little boat with a ground beef boat, I like to call it. And my family's version is a crunchy one that's so good with yogurt on top. And his family's version is like a soupy one, and it's smaller, and you like hand make the dough, whereas we cheat and we just use wonton wrappers. And so like last time we were in LA, his aunt taught me and my daughter how to make it. And so I was like, all right, we're getting there, guys.
Amazing. That is amazing.
They're awesome.
Well, having different cultures like that kind of come together, it just gives you such a richness and variety. And when you're saying all the names of these foods, I'm thinking, I haven't tried any of this.
No, I was like, I need to
Where
make
is
these
this
more
in my life?
When guests come over, I know they want to have an Armenian dish because there's just not as many of us as like you'd have other foods. But again, I don't make them as often as I would like to. But I think now that my kids are getting a bit older, it's more manageable.
And they can help. Well, especially if it's a time-consuming type operation and it's hard to make for lots of people. It's a lot easier if you had a whole team of people in the kitchen doing it.
Which is
a whole
what
family.
The families do typically. All the sisters get together and they're just in the kitchen for half a day making pounds and pounds of these like food. So
that's pretty great. With this menu, do you have any shortcuts or time savers that you would use or do to prepare for people coming over?
Yeah. So the butt eggs I'd make the day before, and that one's super easy to have your kids make. And literally, there's no measurement you really need for that. Just scoop some cheese in, make sure it folds over. If it oozes out, even better. It's fine. Sprinkle some sesame after the egg wash if you want to look extra pretty. So definitely make that one the day before. And when I'm making the stew, I do in the recipe, there's a sauce. I make the sauce like as the meat is simmering, and I just let it sit there so that it's all the chickpeas, the garlic, the lemon, the tomato sauce is all ready. So once the meat is good and the guests are about to like arrive, I pop the pasta in. So it's a shell pasta that you throw in there. And whatever, 10, 15 minutes later, pasta's done and the sauce is ready and you pop it in. And you don't have as many dishes afterwards either because it's mostly just the soup pot, which I appreciate.
I appreciate that as well. It's nice to have a kitchen that's sort of clean where when you have all the dinner dishes, you can put them somewhere and easily get them through the dishwasher or whatever you need to do. Well, any of the recipes that she's mentioned, I will put on comeoverfordinner.com. So if you want to try her soup or stew, rather, or the appetizer or whatever else. I mean, we have mentioned a lot of things, but we'll gather. No, I love it. I love trying new things. So any of the top things that we've talked about, you can go there to the website and find the recipe that'll be on the index in, I don't know what section I'll put it in, but it's alphabetical order or on her blog post under recipes. We'll post them later. What is your best prep tip for having people over if you are thinking about either preparing your home, like cleaning or shopping, or just preparing ahead of time for people? What would you say helps you the most?
Like you mentioned in the beginning about when you get married and you're figuring how to balance everything out. So I love to just schedule it out because you never know what's going to come up or what's going to delay you. So I will typically grocery shop, or I'll clean the day before, I'll grocery shop 2 days before. And if there's time on the cleaning day, then I'll prep whatever needs to be prepped. I'll make ahead the appetizers or the desserts. I almost always try to make ahead dessert, or if it's something that I can prep ahead, like the cookie dough or whatever it is, so I can pop it and scoop it up more easily the day of. Anything that can be done ahead of time, I just do it. And that was definitely my mom. She would set out just stack out all the silverware and the plates and whatnot on the side just so it is there. And she'd like label the serving bowls and whatnot and what was going to go in each one. And if able, she would like just set the table. I used to do that, but when my kids got older, I was like, okay, this is going to be, everything's getting messed up. Let's not.
Right. They need to eat there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mostly set aside all the silverware and plates and whatnot and have that ready. And it's just easy to grab and go. And if there's a meal or fruit or veggie that can be prepped, just go for it. Why not?
Right.
It'll be ready. Like, don't be, oftentimes I'm literally like, don't be lazy. Just get up and do it to myself.
Yes, that is a hot tip. Tell yourself the one thing you don't want to do, get up and do it first.
Yeah.
If you really just don't want to go clean the bathroom, go clean it right then.
And then you'll feel good. It's like, that's done.
And then the earlier, the better, because I feel like there's always these last minute tasks that it takes longer than you think it's going to take.
Something comes up. Something spills. Something gets ruined. And like, may the Lord, like, pray ahead of time so that you can laugh through it. And you'll be okay. Like, great guests. We have had super gracious guests always. And we have never had someone who was like, how dare you overcook the meat? Like, no.
Absolutely not.
They're great guests.
Yeah.
And I did take a tip from, I don't remember who it was on your podcast, but I remember she was like, I just Lysol the entire bathroom from top to bottom. And I literally do that every single time we have guests over now. I'm like, top to bottom. She's right.
A big scrub.
100%. It's like I'm like, I don't want to clean the bathroom. Just Lysol it top to bottom. Done.
What do you use? Like the wipes? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a quick little, I'm going to run in there real fast. That's a hot tip for if you have somebody pop in. Somebody said that on here once too. Just like, oh, excuse me, I'll be right back. And just do a quick little wipe down. Just in case. Oh, yeah. The bathroom, the bane of our existence. Having to clean it anyway. I was thinking of the recent Father's Day dinner we had. We had people over and my husband had mentioned something about homemade smash burgers and homemade French fries.
Yum.
Which, a shortcut would be just buying the frozen ones that you pop in the oven. Well, or a fryer. Homemade. So it really wasn't a big deal because there's just family coming over. But I had the thought of a lot of that is just very time consuming because you peel the potatoes. I had to cut them really small because I was kind of making this shoestring type.
Oh, yum. I love shoestring.
Size.
Yes.
And then you had to fry them in batches because you can't put too many in at one time. Anyway, it's just this whole thing. I'm like, I'm starting too early. But then I also had to do the smash burgers on the grill.
Oh, everything is like hot and fresh. Nothing you can do. Oh,
yes, you want it hot. And so I'm like, I'm going to start. And it was probably 30 minutes before I really thought I had to start. I was working up until the last minute. But I had that thought of, that was actually what I needed to do. Start sooner than you think you need to. Because if you have a little time at the end to just sit on the couch with a drink for a minute, then fine. But that almost never happens. So my suggestion is to start as early as you can without compromising the quality of the food.
Ooh,
so like for me, the French fries, I made those first because I knew they could sit in the oven for just a short time. Like obviously they're going to be best hot off the fryer.
Oh, so then you just stored it in the oven to keep warm. Smart. Okay.
But then if I also needed to do the burgers, the French fries could store. I didn't really want the burgers anyway. Or you could have switched it. I guess you could have had the burgers sit in the oven for a minute while you fry the French fries at the very last minute because I double fried them. I don't know if you've heard of that method.
I don't. Extra crispy?
Well, you par fry them, I guess. I don't know if you say parboil. That sounds really gross.
Yeah.
Par fry.
Oh, yeah.
And then you raise the temperature of the oil and fry them again.
Okay.
And it makes them just really delicious and crispy.
Sounds great.
Actually, those at the last would have probably been best. Maybe I should have held the burgers in the oven, then done the fries.
Did you do the burgers
still
on a
working
griddle?
on this on a Blackstone.
Okay.
Yeah, outdoor griddle.
Okay.
I've also done them inside on a cast iron. A grill would be amazing as well.
Okay.
Just whatever you had. But anyway, the other thing would be to recruit help and have a second person, going at the exact same time. But if it's all you, then definitely think about how early can I start in the food, maintain quality, and it go from there because you can then it'll be a little less stressed, get your dishes done, maybe do a last minute bathroom cleanup or whatever, and it's so helpful.
Do you have like a gut decision about when and how much to use your guests to help? If like that comes to it, if you're like, oh, if I had a second person right now, it'd be really great. You just like rope them in.
Yeah, a lot of times I have guests coming about the time I want to eat. But I have had a lot of guests on here say that if they're not done at the time people walk in the door, that they'll either save a small job, like, hey, can you chop this lettuce? Or have them come in, hand them a drink, and come visit with me in the kitchen or something like that. So I need to get better at that. I mean, my daughter-in-law, Belle, of course, she's amazing. When she comes in, she'll, like with the Father's Day meal, and I'm scrambling. She's like, what can I do? And she'll help with some small things like fill the water glasses or whatever I haven't gotten to yet. So for sure, I think that's fine. And it does give guests a bit of a chance to feel like they're helping, but also not just standing there awkwardly while you're racing around pouring sweat trying to get the last 8 items done on your list if you're running behind. So I think that's definitely okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I think that's probably a good idea. What is your best advice for making people feel welcome when they come into your home?
So I have a tendency to be more type A. And with each kid that we've had, each baby we've prayed for, I have been less type A. Praise the Lord. He's worked in me. So it's been a great balance of the things that I have learned just from my mom, because she was just very organized and very well scheduled. She would work full time and she would take care of us and she would host. So I got a lot of great tips just from watching her growing up. But with each kid, I'm like, you know what? It's okay if my windows look gross. And let it be. So honestly, my biggest tip is it's okay if your house isn't perfect. Because that's my like, they're going to look at the baseboards. No, it is okay. Like, it will also make them feel more comfortable if they don't feel like they can't touch anything and ruin anything and they have to put everything back. Like, let the boot egg crumbs fall on the floor. And if it is bothering everyone under their feet, then you can like kindly be like, excuse me, I'm just going to vacuum this up real quick. And that's okay. But like, let it be. It's more important for your guests to feel comfortable than it is for them to like, I don't know, have to use a coaster. Like whatever. You can use a coaster, but you know what I mean. Like, don't be so
Make it
picky.
Feel like they're living in a museum or eating in a museum with
especially if they come over with kids. Like, let it be. Like, it's okay.
Got to have a place you can live. Yeah, for sure. That's a great tip. I know that a lot of people have talked about just thinking about who your guests are before they walk in the door, especially with children. You want to make sure that they have a place where they can actually be children, not just sit stiffly on a couch. Maybe there's some little toys. There's a place for them, and it's understood kind of what they can do and that they're welcome. And even if you do have some rules like where they need to eat their food, like here's a little table for you, come sit here.
Yeah,
maybe there's crayons out, or
exactly.
But communicating well with your guests, and in that way making them feel welcome so they know it's expected and not like they're doing something wrong or that the child dropped a crumb and you're judging harshly from the other room.
Yeah. We'll be like, this is like, it's like there's 2 halves of our house. And we'll prep our kids ahead of time, too, to be great hosts and like, take them, show them your toys, like play together, encourage them, whatnot, help them feel welcome. And like, we'll be like, and this is like just the eating side of the house, like the coffee table, the big table, wherever the conversation ends up happening, it's okay.
You mentioned earlier that you have a lot of out-of-town guests. I'm sure family comes to visit you. Who else comes? And tell me some of the ways that you prepare for those people coming.
Yeah, a lot of immediate family, but outside of that, friends as well. It depends on where we live. Our first spot we lived was Hawaii. So we were averaging guests every maybe month and a half. And back then my husband was on a ship. So honestly, he was also gone for a lot of it. But
so it's just you.
Yeah. And I was not the best like think ahead hostess back then compared to all the things I do now. But we were also having, most of our guests were like out of college, young adults. It was fine. I don't know if they noticed. I'd like to ask them now. But even now, we haven't had anyone more like distant visit. Like it's always been friends, even if it's not close friends, just like, good friends and cousins. And we also have been guests for so many people that I have learned and taken from them. So like one of the guests, she would have an emergency jar. with like toothbrush, Advil, all like the little whatnots of like, oops, they might have forgotten it. That's in the guest room, and the water bottles, and a little basket of little snacks and things. I got that from them. And so like each guest we go to, I was like, ooh, this guest asks how we take our coffee. That's so sweet, because it's like you wake up in the morning and
That's the first thing you're
like,
looking for.
If you're like, I always take my coffee this way, it's like you want to be a flexible guest. But if your host has thought ahead on that and has your preferred cream or whatnot, it's like, oh, okay, that's nice. Like I got
It's a
my
good
coffee.
way to wake up.
Yeah. So little tips like that you can find to make them comfortable, especially if there's little kids, finding out if there's like a go-to food or a go-to snack that you can just have on hand, because they're traveling, they're staying somewhere they haven't been before. A lot of times we've had family who like the dad will be on a work trip or at sea or something, and like it's like, okay, they might be having a more difficult time. So what we can do to help make them feel more comfortable. And like usually that revolves around food.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because people coming from traveling are hungry and thirsty and tired.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking through those basic needs, a nice place for them to lay their head, and then just some comforts from home, like coffee in the morning.
And a home-cooked meal when they land. So, like, we've had family pick us up with food in the car when we would live far from the airport, and there would be traffic, so it'd be like a 2-hour drive to the house. So they literally pick us up with a Tupperware of food and whatnot, and it was the best. And there was one time when we were visiting here where our host was like gonna just get some pizza because we got little kids, but then she was like, I thought about it, and you're traveling all this way, and you would probably love a home-cooked meal. And she like did it. She just made a home-cooked meal, and it felt so much better after traveling and eating out and eating snacks and whatnot to just have this nutritious, warm, like made with love meal.
Oh,
even though like you're visiting and you want to
idea.
eat out and you want to try the foods, just like when they get there, thanks Aunt Nancy. When you get there to just be like, okay, at least our first meal is this beautiful welcoming meal.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me of my nephew picking me up in Dallas at DFW one night, and it was kind of late, and we had flown in, been traveling all day like you're talking about, and I usually pack food oftentimes, but it's, it's maybe a sandwich or something and some fruit and some chips, and it's not a real hearty meal. Or maybe you did buy something in the airport, and I don't know, it was really late, 11, midnight, and he shows up. The container was still warm. I think it was homemade pizza.
That's so sweet.
There were 2 or 3 things. It was like this gourmet meal, I felt like, at midnight.
Yes.
I was just like, who are you? And your mother raised you right.
Yes.
She did a really good job.
That's lovely.
My twin sister was one of her boys. But yeah, I agree with that. I just think that's such a great idea and something I actually need to work on. I need to remember that for my next person that I do an airport run for. They probably don't want to go out for a burger after getting off of an airplane. Potentially they want a home-cooked meal.
And you can always ask. I've started to be very straightforward because I'm like, do you want taco time? Because they're coming from Cal. I'm like, do you want this delicious but fried giant taquito, or would you like a home-cooked meal? And most of the time they'll either say whatever's easier for you, which, go for it. If they're an adult, they're saying whatever's easier for you, do whatever's easier for you. It's okay. Or, whichever one, if they actually pick, there you go.
Yes. Belle and I also traveled recently, and we stayed at an Airbnb, got in late, and when you travel, you can only fill your water bottles at the water filling station in the airport, which who even knows what that water tastes like, unless you buy the $5, maybe more, bottle of water in the airport. And so you're just traveling. We're trying to get the kids down, and all of a sudden I'm just really, really wanting some good water. And I'm not sure if where we were there was a 24-hour grocery, but also I wasn't about to leave and go in the middle of the night to go in whatever neighborhood we were in to go and try to brave the Walmart. I opened the refrigerator, and the Airbnb host had bottles of water in there and a couple little snacks and just what you're talking about, just a few things to kind of give you that idea of being welcome. And here you might be thirsty. Here's some snack bars. Here's some cold water. It's like, this is the greatest water I've ever tasted. And I am so thankful for it. The next day we did get out and get a few things from the grocery store, but I have thought of that for home too. Like you mentioned, a basket where they have a water bottle or water bottles on their nightstand in case they need something other than airport water.
Yeah.
If they didn't drive, they have airport water. Maybe you have a refrigerator, that has a filter and all that. But sometimes if guests come in late, you're just like, they're getting to bed and they don't know all the things that they can access. And
Or if they, like, we have the upstairs and the downstairs, and the guest room is so far from the kitchen, honestly. And I'm like, they typically travel with their own water bottles now and will fill up. But if you forget, it's like, I don't have to go downstairs in the middle of the night on the squeaky stairs and wake everyone up. And there's a dog.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. The other thing that I have recently acquired, this is my hot tip for guests coming to stay, is a luggage rack. Because
so smart.
one of the things that I recognized when I had guests come over is the little carry-ons are just on the floor. So you're having to bend down and be on the floor rummaging through your suitcase, or maybe you're having to put your dirty suitcase from the airport on top of your clean bed. It just wasn't working well, or I didn't think it was very hospitable. And so I got on Amazon and found some cute luggage racks. Nice. They were not that expensive. I bought 2 of them because there's often 2 people at least in the room. And so I put them side by side, and it has a spot where you open your suitcase. It's just like a hotel room if they have luggage racks. You open it and it's, at waist level, I guess. Is it waist level? I don't know. It's higher where you don't have to bend down and be on the floor. And then this luggage rack also has a kind of a rack underneath, like you could put your purse or your shoes, or it's kind of a
smart.
2-level type thing.
Yeah.
So that's my hot tip.
I please link it.
Absolutely love it. I'll put the link to the one that I bought because I did do some research and tried to find a decent price, and they had different colors. And I went with the one that was gold.
That sounds fun.
Kind of a gold look. And I thought it was just cute. So good tips on making out-of-town guests feel welcome. A home-cooked meal, maybe even something homemade brought to the airport, some luggage racks, some snacks, some water. Anything else you'd add to that?
I can't think of anything.
I always think chocolate. My daughter does that.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say we force it upon our guests. After the kiddos have gone to bed, our kiddos, their kiddos, all the kiddos, I have just a go-to bowl with individually wrapped a few Armenian little goodies that my mom had brought over, and just like default like dark chocolate and whatnot. So you just, even if they don't ask for it, just put the bowl there and like have the tea ready. And our favorite tea is you just boil cinnamon sticks and cloves or like let it simmer for hours, and it is delicious. I have not found, there's a certain cinnamon stick, I don't know if it's the Ceylon cinnamon stick, that makes it taste sweet, even though there's no sugar in it. I have not found it yet. But I like boiled it once, and I was like, which cinnamon stick was it? And I think I like bought it when we were living in Japan, and I was like, I don't know which. I know. So I'm on the hunt to just do an experiment and buy a bunch of cinnamon sticks and boil them and see which one tastes the best.
Okay,
but
well, if
it's
you
a nice herbal soothing evening tea.
Oh, that's a great idea, too. If you find that cinnamon stick, or maybe you can just tell me your current favorite, we can put a link for wherever you order it.
I'm just buying
You're just randomly buying, trying to find the one you had in Japan.
Magic one.
The magic one.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that tea before, but that's also a really fun idea for when somebody arrives to have just a small snack, a tea and some chocolates, or tea and something else as a welcome. Right before you go to bed, here's something hot.
Yeah.
And to try Armenian chocolates. I've never had Armenian chocolates. That would be such a fabulous treat.
Sorry, I was misleading. The chocolates are like Ghirardelli or something.
Okay.
The Armenian thing is it's like an apricot sticky fruit strip that's rolled up, and my favorite is it's like a little marzipan nugget. It's so good.
Oh, so some candy type things, some sweet treats. Then also the chocolate's just good old Ghirardelli.
Why not?
Why not? Yes, when I arrive at my daughter's house, she usually has some cute little flowers and a little basket with water and a couple of snacks, but usually there's some chocolate in there, which, I will say that the chocolate might be my favorite. That's fun. Okay. Well, moving on, now that we've welcomed everyone into our homes, what is your must-have kitchen item, something that you use all the time?
So I have my little kiddos. So there's like all the basics that I'm sure lots of people have told you on this podcast. So my go-to would be a wavy chopper. And I've tried multiple different ones. I've tried buying the cheaper ones, but my favorite one, I think it was the brand was Joey, Joie, I think. And it is just the best for little hands. And I will be like, all right, guys, here's the bag of carrots, and will keep them busy, and they'll also be like contributing, and they'll be proud of themselves, and they'll be like, I am doing this for like to serve and to love on them. So that little wavy cutter, and I have like tiny IKEA cutting boards, and I have one for each child, and we're like, here we go. So my go-to is that, having that ready for them to contribute and be busy.
It's very fun to get your kids involved.
It is.
Because they learn the skill of cooking over time. They become more confident and actually are a true help in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But
it's
it
amazing.
also gives them a sense of pride for when company comes over that I made that, or I set that table, or I, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's really a great skill to have, and a great way to bless your children and make them excited about the prep, because it can seem like a lot of work to a mom. It is a lot of work to a mom. But if you start bringing your kids along, it can become less, because you can start assigning out the various tasks as they get older, and it truly gets done well. But it also gives them the sense of doing their own hospitality.
Yeah.
So great job, Mom.
Oh, thanks.
Do you have a story from all your years of hosting, traveling around the world, hosting all sorts of people in groups and dive school, young men and ladies? Anything go awry in all of that? Did you ever serve them purple steak?
Praise the Lord, no.
Or really thick crepes?
No, it was just the lactose intolerance.
The lactose was, yes.
I have had like meals that were not ideal, and I do my best to just tame my tongue and have the self-control to not like pick at it.
Point it out and talk about it the whole meal.
Like, it's so unnecessary, and you're focusing on yourself and like possibly like my own pride in the moment. And it's like, it's okay. Like, let it go and like enjoy the company.
That's a great reminder. It really is, because it's going on in your head and you need to just stop. You need to tell yourself, stop thinking about it. Think about your guests, focus on them, enjoy the evening, stop beating yourself up, and definitely don't let it come out.
Yeah.
I had that thought going back to Father's Day, thinking about the fries and the burgers. And, you know, I did have that thought of like, maybe I should have par-fried the French fries, but then held off on the last fry, done the burgers, then done the last fry. So the fries were more hot instead of putting the oven. If I'd said all that and gone on and on, like, you know, the fries were better straight out of the fryer, and maybe I should have waited. Like, nobody cares. And all you're doing is talking about yourself and your own process of planning and how you aren't executing as well as you thought you were. It's just kind of me.
Yeah, which is great to like self-assess, but like not at that time.
Right. And the self-assessment can help you to be better for the future. And at some point, let's say I keep making these smash burgers and delicious French fries.
Sounds good.
It really is good. It's a classic American meal. Not healthy, but
it's okay.
It's okay every now and then. I do want to do it again and again, you know, where I do kind of get down the execution of the timing for sure. So that self-assessment of, okay, next time I will try it this way, but to announce it to your guests, or if any meal you serve, if you announce, well, this doesn't taste like normal, or
I've definitely done that.
I have done, speaking of stew, I have ordered these beef stew cuts for years. I go to Sam's Club and there is stew meat, it's called. It's packaged, cut beef, whatever. And sometimes they take it from a variety of meats, and sometimes it's like the end part of steak that was too small to sell or something. I once had a friend that worked there, and he would tell me if it was like, we have a bunch of steak in the stew meat section.
Nice.
But, you know, just stew meat that you simmer low and slow, and it becomes real tender, and it's chunks that a lot of times I look at it and I even cut those down to bite size because they're too big. I one time ordered it from Walmart. It was labeled stew meat. I'm wondering if they labeled something wrong or the person in the back didn't know how to cut it.
Oh, no.
I opened the package. I am taking this recipe for a meal train, taking it to someone. It's the tiniest little bits of beef you've ever seen in your life. It would be more like, I would say, for
tacos.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's like, it's not quite ground
Sounds
beef.
like a good street taco.
But it would be something like that. It was these little bits of.
Not a stew.
And I'm like, how in the world? Like, my timing, how long do I simmer? It's not big chunks of beef. I just went with it. I had to. I mean, I was down to the wire of I need to cook. I have this meal to deliver. I did not say a word.
How did it turn out? Did you taste it?
It was tender because I did simmer it low and slow. But it was funny that I have kind of some chunks of potato and some regular sliced carrots. And you kind of want your pieces to be generally the same.
Yeah.
And then this little teensy bits of beef floating around.
Surprises.
Surprise. But it still tasted good, which was the point.
Awesome.
But it was a little strange. But I didn't say a word. I didn't apologize for it. I didn't go into long explanations and tell him how normally I do such a better job.
This new mom probably did not care. She's like, oh, thank you so much for this hearty, filling, nutritious meal.
Exactly. Going back to your point about guests being gracious, when you think about yourself as a guest, I mean, hopefully this is the truth. I don't know that I've ever noticed someone's windows or baseboards or anything else. Like, honestly, I mean, I went to a home recently and I thought, when you were saying that, windows, baseboards, I don't think I even looked at their windows. It's just you in your own mind as the hostess think people are noticing all these things. And honestly, the focal point when they walk in is your table, your family, the kids playing. They're not focusing on the periphery. And that is the atmosphere. You want it to be welcoming and you want it to be generally clean. But again, we put too much pressure on our own selves to be perfect. And a lot of that's pride. Yeah. Gotta let it go. Do your best.
Yes.
And after that, just enjoy the fellowship that God has given you, the great friends, the great family that He's brought into your home. Well, thank you so much, Araz, for coming on the podcast and sharing with us all of your hot tips and the recipes that you and your husband have brought from your family. It will be so fun to try different things that we have not had before on here. I'm pretty sure that these might be the first recipes of their kind.
Whoop, whoop.
So check out the website. Until next time, bye for now.
Bye.
Before you go, if you enjoyed this episode, take a second to follow the show and leave a review. It really helps the podcast grow and reach new listeners. Thanks for listening, and if someone came to mind during this conversation, be sure to share this episode with them.